Hey there YouTube, I am back with DC. So I took a break, I'll be honest with y'all. Took a break for 2 months. I take breaks a lot nowadays. I used to never take a break from DC, but when you grind out so hard, you can't help it. I kind of grinded out really hard, and that was my fault. And I grinded out hard before Deluge came out, and I think that's where my downfall was, because if I didn't, then I would have been fine. But we got a new DLC coming. So it's awesome. Anyways, I want to show y'all Nature DPS, man. Nature DPS. So Nature DPS is alright, in my personal opinion. I think it can do some good damage. Do I think it's the best? No, not even close, personally. I think there's certain things. Anyways, so I'm going to show y'all. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys a ads and a single target loadout. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you my gear. And you know, mods are leaving. So honestly, rest in peace, mods in R&D station. Hopefully, I don't know what they'll do with those feats. I'm assuming they might just give them to us. In all honesty. Anyways, so this is my gear. And then I have the Starro face on because with a might mod it has more than the 235 mask. So here is my might. My might is that high only because of this. I pop nitros all the time. I always have one active, so I don't really care about showing you guys with me one active because it's nothing new. So my might is 25,862, I believe, if I can read that from here. 235 CR. So let's go ahead and get into traits. So for weapons, it's a super powered loadout, so you only need to get into this weapon here. After that, you want to go to super speed, get your super speed, and then your restraints if you want to. Iconic powers for the ad loadout, you do not need any iconics at all. Then stats, go ahead and focus superpower, go ahead and spec into all your crits, and then go ahead and get as much might and power as possible. After you max it out, go ahead and dump it into health, and that's it. Go ahead and let's go up to loadouts here, guys. Alright, so loadout from left to right for the ads. Loadout is Serpent Call, Briar, Savage Growth, Thorn Burst, Voracious Plants, and Chaotic Growth as your supercharge. You can go ahead and use Gorilla Form if you want to. Personally, I don't like the pause that it has. There is a significant pause when you get into the forms, and I don't like it for any of them in any power, like Ice Elemental for ice or anything like that. So I use Cataclysm because it does hit really hard. So anyways, that's the loadout. So the way the loadout works is so Thorn Burst refreshes your dots, and if you know what nature is, and if you don't, I'll explain both ways. If you know how nature works, then you already know what I'm going to say. If you don't, so the way nature works is you have dots, which these are your two dots that you use in this rotation. Releases poison and releases poison, and they do damage over time. Well, they're normal dots, and they only last so long. For example, I will show you real quick. So this is Serpent Call's the first move. So you pop Serpent Call, right? And it does a DOT on all ads, and it does what? That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 ticks. So that does 12 ticks, right? So when you use Thorn Burst, you can keep that going for pretty much forever. So let me show you. So there's 12 ticks, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna pop Thorn Burst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then look, you can just keep going. So that is how nature works, and then the dot stacks. So that's the first two moves. And then you have Savage Growth here, and Savage Growth, it says poison enemies take additional damage. So this move is just a hard-hitting move. It's a super hard-hitting instant. It's very up close, as you can see here. Boom, it's up close. It knocks them back, and it does a very large amount of damage. And then next is Thornburst, which I already explained. Thornburst also does you know, a very good amount of large amount of damage. And then it says spreads and refreshes poison on enemies. You can also use Harvest for this if you want to. This isn't the only move. Harvest does it as well. I just like Thornburst because it hits harder. So Thornburst. Boom. So that's Thornburst, and it also hits very hard. And then you have Voracious Plants, which is your last move, which is your spammable move, and it does, you know, poison enemies, take additional damage, and it actually does a large tick, a decently large tick, and then it does a little damage over time. As you can see when I throw one, and it's max range move, so that's nice as well. So you throw it, and then it does a little tick, but it's also spammable, so you can spam, and the dots actually stack with it. So there's like 2-3 dots with it, which is nice. So, all right, the way the loadout works is you go Serpent Call, Briar, Savage Growth, Thornburst, 2 Voracious Plants, and then after that you rotate Savage Growth, Thornburst, and Voracious Plants repeatedly, just like this. And this is the rotation. That's it. As long as you have Thornburst active on ads and stuff, it's always going to refresh the dots. And then, yeah, it does good damage. Just make sure that you're up close. This is a melee rotation. Harvest is more for range. So, let me show you some parses. Also, be careful when testing this, because I have had problems with Thornburst. Sometimes it doesn't hit on the corner ads. Like, I know that one. I know it missed one. I saw it. And that's just from Savage Growth, knocking them in the air so much. So just be careful. Make sure it hits. Once it has the resist and stuff like that, then you're good to go. And this is where the real damage starts kicking in right here. Usually I hit about 21 as an average, 23 K a second. Right there was a 22. So that's the damage. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you Chaotic Growth right off the bat, because its damage is insane. So the way I do it is I activate my dots, like I just go through the rotation, and then I pop Chaotic Growth and then go into Voracious Plants. So I go do this, pop that, Thornburst, Chaotic Growth, and this is how I do my rotation. Right there, that parse right there is absolutely insane. As you can see, Chaotic Growth hits so hard. So hard. I mean, honestly, it's really good. Very good for ads. And it's 100%er, yes, and that's the only issue that it has going for it. But other than that, man, look at that damage. That damage is like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. 46,000 in 10 seconds. Just from Chaotic Growth. So that's the ads loadout, guys. I'll show it to you on these ads, and there's really no difference in damage. It's the same. I'll show you a parse real quick, and we will move on. If you have a tank too, this loadout's a lot easier because ads are jumpy and stuff, and you can kind of miss some because Thornburst's range is very, very limited. But put either way. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the precision single target. Not precision single target, I apologize, just a single target. This is might. So everything else is the same, gear wise, stuff like that. Weapons is the same, you know, 1. Super speed. Then iconics, the only thing you will need is heat vision. Just get heat vision. And then go ahead and do the normal spec, super powered, crits, and then all in the might power, the rest into health, or precision, whatever, which one, or wherever you feel like putting them, that is up to you. So the loadout from left to right goes Serpent Call, Vine Lash, Harvest, Heat Vision, Voracious Plants, and Primal Wolf Form. So, like I said, I was already complaining about Primal Wolf Form, but I'm going to explain how good he is. for single target here in a second. This is his loadout for Primal Wolf form. It is Swarm, then Serpent Call, Harvest, Impaling Thorns, Voracious Plants, and Return to Normal. So the way the loadout works is kind of the same way as the other one did, where you do Serpent Call, Vine Lash, Harvest, Heat Vision, then you do Voracious Plants. I do it 4 times. Go ahead and pop Harvest again, Heat Vision, and then Voracious Plants 4 times. And that's the rotation. And I'll be honest with you, the normal rotation for single target nature isn't the best. The only thing that really helps it is Heat Vision, especially if it crits. It's when you get into Primal Wolf form where things start getting really nice. So there's a 9.5. That's about average. It goes about 9.5, 10 with this loadout. And honestly, I do wish it was a little bit better myself. Right there was an 11. That's just because crits were a little bit better. Especially with Heat Vision. And then it drops down again. So the way I do it with Primal Wolf form is I activate my dots and then I jump into Primal Wolf form. And then after I jump into Primal Wolf form, if you read Primal Wolf form's description of the power, if I can find it, there it is. It says transform into a Primal Wolf, supercharged movement, all that stuff. But then it goes, your damage output, critical attack chance, and critical attack damage are increased for a short time. For a short time, that is a total of 13 seconds. So if you go into here, that is what Swarm is for. Swarm is a 12-second dot, technically, or a pet for 12 seconds. It's a 12-second power, has a 12-second cooldown. So I know that as soon as that is over, that a second later, that I know that I lost my crit chance, all my buffs from Primal Wolf form, and I can switch back to normal. And the coolest part about Primal Wolf form is that it is a 25% supercharge, so you can get it a lot, especially with if you pop Serpent Calls randomly. You don't have to go crazy, just pop them whenever and get it real quick. But as soon as you pop into Primal Wolf form, you want to pop Swarm, pop Harvest, go straight into Impaling Thorns. You want to get Impaling Thorns off as much as possible because it hits hard, even though it's a 35%er. And then you want to do 4 Voracious Plants again, then Harvest, then Impaling Thorns, and then do it again. And then as soon, like a second or two after Swarm, you have about 3 rotations usually with this. 2 with the full buff, and then 1 where it drops off. And then after that, you can go ahead and jump out, return to normal, and then you can jump right back in if you want to. And I'll explain that here in a second. So, let's go ahead. You go ahead and activate your dots, like so. Jump right into Primal Wolf form. Hit Swarm, hit Harvest. Make sure your dots are still up. Go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There was a 10. And then I'm going to jump out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh my dots. I'm going to jump straight back in. Pop Swarm. Go into Savage Growth. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there is an 11. Finish it out here. Pop out. And then this time I don't have my supercharge, so I'm going to do it like this. 2, 3, and 4. And this is the full single target rotation, guys. And it's not the best. You can hit 12, 13, maybe 12, honestly, with the supercharge, but you're not going to get much better. And that's just due to the fact that nature is really an add DPS. Like, no matter what. So, that's it for nature, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to keep, you know, rocking out with the powers, especially based on my main tune, which is Jackers here. And then I'm going to start jumping on my other two Stockholms, which I showed before. He's gadgets right now, and I showed a gadgets load on him, updated one on him before. I'm going to go ahead and do a precision one on him eventually, because I think I'm going to turn him into a precision tune and start doing a lot of precision based stuff because I've always been interested in precision, and it is the hot thing right now. And so I didn't really want to share loadouts, and then now people realize like bow and there's two weapons, bow and dual wield, that are very very good with precision. The rest of them aren't even close or compare. So I definitely showed them, and we have really good artifacts for them, like the venom rest, the Legionnaires AI, and the wrist dispenser. Those are two very very good artifacts to be using for precision. So I want to definitely show that off. I probably will not mod him, so I'm gonna put a disclaimer on this video before I even show Stockholm's, and I'll put a disclaimer in there in the beginning of that video as well. I don't really care to mod him full precision because mods are going away, and that's a lot of time and effort that I really don't want to spend on an alt. Because I'm trying to grind for the conch show on this tune. So anyways, I think I'm gonna go ice next, guys. I don't see a lot of ice DPSs out there, and I really want to find a super good loadout, and like, because I think ice is such a cool power. Always liked it, and it's like really underused. A lot of the tank powers are because of earth and rage being so good. And atomic, its tanking is just phenomenal. So fire and ice are kind of the shit end of the stick this time around. Ice used to be super good in advanced mechanics and stuff. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see y'all in the next video. Deuces.